So, a few people have asked me how my KDP workbook journey is going, and I plan to share that with you today as part of a three-part series on KDP workbooks. I am going to be as transparent as possible with you. And as you know, I rarely ever say this, but if you stick around to the end, I have something interesting to share with you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sherry from Rolling Acres Education. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. And as I said, this is a three-part series. The first part, we just talked about KDP workbooks in general. That's linked below if you're interested. You don't need to watch it before. You can watch it after. And then I want to talk about my KDP journey personally. I'm going to share numbers with you. I'm just going to put it all out there and let you see what's going on. And then in the third one, we are going to have Krystal, who I consider the KDP workbook guru, but she also knows about fiction and children's books and other things that you can do on KDP. And she's just great for especially teachers. I think if you're a teacher wanting to do KDP workbooks, you can't find anyone better. And she's just, she goes, to me, she goes above and beyond. She goes so beyond what would normally be required of someone doing what she does, and she's just amazing. So she will be on as soon as we can schedule it. So if we're going to talk about my KDP workbook journey, we're going to have to go back several years. I had just left the classroom and had no income, and I was looking for things to do, and I stumbled across these videos by a couple of people who were doing KDP workbooks, and this was back when it was just kind of starting to get saturated. I'm not exactly sure when they really started doing these, but when I found it, it was kind of getting saturated, and people were doing no and low content books. Now, a no content book is basically where every page is the same. It hardly has anything on it. It might be totally blank. Put a cover on it, call it a sketchbook. It might be lined, and you call it a journal or a notebook. It might have music, like staffs is what you call them, where you can write music. And it was just like one page. People put it in something like Canva, and they just duplicate till it had however many pages they wanted. They make a cover, put it in that cover, and put it for sale. And people were making a lot of money. I did a prayer journal. Mine would be probably like low content, and I sold 3 of them and got a 5-star review on one. But I didn't have an email list. I didn't promote mine. I didn't do any ads. I didn't do keyword research. I didn't do any of that stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I just don't think this is for me. I think I'm going to have to put more into this than I want to if I'm going to make money. So spring ahead to April of last year, April 2024, I was watching a video of Lauren's. She had Krystal on her podcast video channel, and Krystal was talking about taking your TPT resources and turning them into KDP workbooks, and I had the course bought before the video was even over. What she said just really made sense to me, that this was definitely a way that teachers could stand out and make money. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is medium and high content. Mostly what we do in the group I'm in is we do high content, but you can do medium content. And if you have the right keywords and are willing to do some ads, you can make money from medium content, which to me are like coloring books, activity books is kind of what I'm having in mind. And you could really do these pretty simply and really make some money. You could take ChatGPT, and some kind of puzzle generating software. Make sure it's, for commercial license. You can't just go in and make puzzles on something and sell them unless you have the license to do that. There are some that you can do. I use Bearwood Labs. I'm going to put a couple below that you can check out. And what you can do is you can go to ChatGPT and say, I'd like to make crossword puzzles for whatever age group. Can you generate a bunch of themes? Because you're going to want to do more than one workbook. And, generate 20 themes that I can do a crossword puzzle book for blah, blah, blah. And ChatGPT will do all that. And you're like, okay, I want to do sports. Can you give me 50 topics for a crossword puzzle on sports? And then you can have them take each of those topics, make hints. And I mean, you can, if you get the prompts right, which I don't have time to go into how to do the prompts, but you can have that ChatGPT give you the list, the hints. I'll warn you, go through and read them, make sure, they're what you want them to say. And then take those what the list that ChatGPT gives you, put it into a crossword generator, and make a book. You could do that with word searches. You could do that with mazes. You could do that with any kind of activity book. You could put an activity book together where you have some crosswords, some word search, some mazes, and all that. And you could put those together in a book and sell them. Now, it's going to be a little more saturated than what I'm going to talk about here in a minute, but you can make money, especially if you do your keyword research and you find some topics that people are looking for, but not a lot of people are making, and you're willing to run ads to them. Those would be what one would call medium content books. Now, what I'm doing and what the majority of people in this group are doing is high content books. And these are instructional workbooks where you are teaching students something and then giving them things to do. Now, I think that what the ones I have seen in our group are so much better than like Scholastic or some of those other big names, because that might be what you're thinking is, oh, well, these big names sell in there. Yeah, but they're not really teaching. I have bought some of those books. I've used some of these, especially like for the younger kids, and it's like they didn't know the stuff and there was nothing to teach them, and like a lot of it was wasted because I wanted them to have something to do, and I'm sitting here having to teach them everything in it. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a workbook that a parent can hand to a student, and with very little parent help, they can do that workbook. The parent doesn't need background knowledge, and that is going to be so valuable to a parent. There are and it doesn't have to be parent. There are teachers that are buying these workbooks too. But the point is, you're going to create something that takes a lot more skill than most people are willing to put into these workbooks. You're going to, before you create the workbook, you're going to make sure that you have keywords that are going to have low competition, but that people are still looking for. And so you're going to take those and make those workbooks, and that's what I am doing. So we're going to so I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, and I am going to open up my little Excel sheet I've been keeping. It is so disorganized. I haven't put anything organized yet, and it's kind of less like here and there, but you'll get a picture of what I've been doing. So let's go to that now. Okay, like I said, this is going to be a little messy, but first of all, I want to tell you that I watched the video where I bought the course in April. So I'm going to include the price of the course. I joined the membership, and then you'll have see several months where I paid the membership. And then here recently, I upgraded to the yearly. So and after a year, I don't know that I'll still be in the membership. Because I don't know. I might still be, but as of now, there's a possibility I won't. So that is a one-time cost. I don't know that I will renew that. I also run ads. I bought Publisher Rocket. So there's several one-time costs that I did. And if you count those, I am not profitable yet. But if we just look at the ads and the workbook royalties, then I'm starting to make a little money. Now, when I did TPT, by the time I started making YouTube videos, I was already making over $500 a month. So this is a little different. I did jump right into it. I took the course and I was like, I'm going to do this. And I made one workbook. And then I was busy last summer. We had a big party for there was just all kinds of reasons. We had a big party for my mom, and a lot of things happened. I moved and all that. And I kind of got distracted. But in November of 2024, this is April of 2025. Been a year since I learned about these, but November is when I was like, okay, this is it. I'm taking this seriously. We're going to get busy with this. Okay, so let's look. And we're going to, first of all, look over here. Whoa. Okay, we're going to look right here. This is my originals. Okay, so I bought the course. It was $301. The coaching, I did one coaching call with Krystal. And then I have spent $755 on membership. I was doing it per month. And then I did the upgrade to the year. So I've spent $755 on the membership. I bought Publisher Rocket for $97. It's $197 or $169, something now. Worth every penny. every penny. And I have spent $233.92 on ads. So I have put a grand total of $1,484.65 into this business. This is the workbook I originally created and put up for sale. I put it up for sale like the middle of June, and it was a summer workbook. And so it sold one copy. I've since taken it down because I put a lot of that stuff into another workbook that I decided I'd rather do. It doesn't even sell anymore. So then here is, let's move over here. So we're here on April, and actually, yes, that is still where I am in April. So as you can see in March, I actually had royalties of $127.45. This is money that actually went into my bank account from KDP. It's not my sales, it's what I got from them. And so from the beginning, I am not including those three little workbooks I made back then. That not included. So I have made a total of $362.73 in royalties. I have spent $233.92 on ads, and so I have made $128.81. I am assured by Krystal that I am doing fine, moving right along. There seems to be this 20 workbook thing. Like once you get 20 workbooks, that's where you really start making money. But I know people who are making money without that, and that is overall. That's what they tell people overall. And I think that we'll start making money before people who are making the no and low content books. That's just my opinion. Okay. So if you put all that in together, I put this over here. This is how much I've made. This is how much I put into it. And so right now I'm in the hole. I'm $1,000 in the hole. You do not have to do all this stuff I did. I was dead serious about this. I mean, like if you take out the coaching, and either the course or the membership, man, I recommend one of them, but you can take those both out. Publisher Rocket, something else I wonder about taking out. But let's just say all I was doing was running ads. Then yeah, I've made $128. If you don't include all the one-time fees and all that, I've made money. Even if you count that where I'm $1,000 under, I started out a lot more than that under. And so I guess I'm trying to say you put money into a business. I mean, that's just part of it. Okay, real quickly, I did want to show you one more thing. And this is from Publisher Rocket, and I highly recommend it because this is what you can get from Publisher Rocket. Now, these are the things that I've cut and paste. You won't fully understand it if you don't have Publisher Rocket, but I think you'll get the idea. So let's look at these keywords. So what this is the competition. Okay, that is on a score from 1 to 99. And anything under 40 is good. Even under 50 can be okay, but under 40 is really good. And then these are your searches per month. And I think it was like in the last 30 days or something like that. So these can go up and down because like Christmas, you're going to have more searches per month. Okay. This is the average sales, not royalties, not what the person gets, but the average sales per month per book in that keyword. So like in the Summer Bridge to 8th grade, the average sale per book is $10,800. Okay. Again, that's not royalties, but, what if you only got half of that? What if you only got a tenth of that? I mean, really, off of one book. So this is just what it will, these are, again, all the books, and what you use this for is like if there's one that's like $300, I'm not going to mess with that because if that's what the average person's making, I'm probably going to make less than that. And I have to think about, is that really something I want to put my time into? But then you look at something like this, and if it's something that, don't pick something just because it has a lot of money. You want to pick something that you can really do a good job at. But if it's something like, wow, I could really do that. And look, 38,000, gosh, I kind of look at it if I can make a tenth of it. It's kind of, a lot of times what I kind of look at. So that is just what Publisher Rocket can do for you. And that's why I highly recommend it, because you can go into creating that workbook knowing that it could be profitable. So I hope that this has gotten you as excited as I did when I first started learning about KDP. If not, maybe when Krystal gets on here, she can get you as motivated as she did me. But I just think this is so exciting because if you wanted to write a book or make a workbook or anything like that, you had to get, you had to get it approved, and you had to get publicists, and you had to do all this stuff, and it was just a lot of hard work. And now you can basically write a book, stick it on KDP, and it could possibly sell, and especially if you do your research and your keywords. Now, with that in mind, what exciting thing do I have to tell you? And that is, yours truly is in the middle of writing a science fiction novel for middle school students, and I am so excited about it. I kept seeing keywords for science fiction, middle school science fiction novel, book, and all these kind of things. And I was like, oh, I'd love to do that, but there's just like, I don't know how I would handle this part of it or that part of it. And so I thought, you know what? I could get help with that. And so I wrote this book, and every now and then I'll go to ChatGPT and say, I need a situation where, I've got these two main characters, and they need to be in this crisis situation. Here's where they are and what they're doing. What's a good, something that I can put them in. And then you just have to read it, because this book is kind of, I guess like futuristic. And so it gave me something, and there was a line in it that was like, they would not be doing that. And so you have to, there are people, I'm going to tell you, there are people who just go on ChatGPT and say, write me a book about this. Maybe like a prompt this big, and ChatGPT just shoots them out a book. They upload it, put it on Amazon, and they just do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. And they hope that one of them will hit, and they'll make sales from it. And if they do start getting one that they think might make sales, and they start running ads to that. And if you make a sequel, somebody reads the first one, they'll read the other ones. And so that is perfectly legal. You can do that. You can go on ChatGPT and say, here, write me a book, and put it on there. But if you want it to be really good, you need to be the one to write it with help from ChatGPT. And plus, AI will make you, they'll be like, oh, Sherry, that's the best plot I've ever heard in my life. Your characters are so rich, and blah, 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 and just makes you feel like you're the best writer in the world. But anyway, when that book comes out, I will let you know. I'm actually finding out that the writing part is the easiest, because I've started doing some of the formatting, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I gotta make a cover. This is not my thing. But I am so excited about it. And I'm actually doing kind of a combination thing that I'll talk more about later. But it's just so exciting, the things that once you step into the teacherpreneur world and you realize all that there is to offer, I just hate to see you sit back and not take advantage of it. So I hope that you will jump into this and at least look at it. Like I said, I need to schedule with Krystal to do the interview, but check it out. Okay, check out my other video below, and remember, you've got this, God's got you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.